Day 176 on the Appalachian Trail. This is the trail behind me, and this is the trail in front of me. It looks like a tornado went through here. My friend, he and I have been hiking together this morning, Yukon, and he's a little bit faster, so he went ahead, and I caught him on this mess. Man, this is crazy. Coming up out of Unicoi Gap was pretty terrible. And this section, I was told about these two sections. Everything else has been great, just flying. But, golly, Pete. All right, I'm here at Thru-Hike Gap today. Real pretty. I've always enjoyed this trail. This is it's always been my go-to as a fairly easy trail with not much elevation change. I remember coming out here and doing this with my dog. I know if I'd stayed on this road, I could avoid the hard stuff on this side, but this is the Appalachian Trail. Old logging road right there. It connects back to it later. Anyway, it's a rolling section. Looks like we got a little blowdown up here. Had some real bad sections right there, but it's interesting. You'll have a real bad section, and then you won't have anything for a couple of miles. I'll be curious as to the meteorological cause of all that. All right, day 176 on the Appalachian Trail. I just met this young man right here, and he's got two trail names. Which one's your favorite, you think?
It's a toss-up. I think Sunrise.
Sunrise. He said he likes to get up early and go hiking. Well, I guess it's cool, and I don't blame you for that.
Or Headlamp.
Headlamp. So, and he may go to Virginia, but he was telling me, just like me, that this hurricane's really made a big mess out of it. So, anyway, it's nice to meet you out here on the Appalachian Trail. Somewhere in the middle of all this is the Appalachian Trail. Man, this is crazy. All right, I'm gonna get gut hooks out and figure out where the trail is. All right, here we go. There's the trail. There's the trail back. You know, this stuff's really getting old. You'll go about 100 yards, everything's fine. And then you get into this. Some of it's easy to go around. Jeez. Oh well, at least I wasn't here when it fell on me. One of the things I always appreciated about this section of the trail was all the detail that went into rock work on all these sections that are raised like this. And I don't know who did it. I don't know if it was old CCC workers. You can see rock work. I've seen several of those today. Oh me. Met three guys hiking a while ago. Actually 2 men and a boy. They were from Cleveland, Georgia. They knew chops. And real nice. They were talking about this section of the trail. They said that they had counted 47 blowdowns between Low Gap and Hogpen Gap. This would be one of them right here. Yards, everything was great. Then you run into one of those sections. Beautiful day today. It's I'm gonna guess in the upper 70s. It's not raining. Woo-hoo. Look at that string. That's cool. Yeah, I've always loved this section between Thru-Hike Gap and Unicoi. I hiked it twice in January, and then several times in years past. It only has, I usually go from the Thru-Hike Gap to Unicoi, so you don't have any really elevation gains, just some ups and downs, and then you'll drop down into Unicoi Gap. Whereas today I started off with that big climb through all the switchbacks and fallen trees. It's a good way to start though. Better at the beginning of the day than the end, I bet. I was mentioning earlier how, when you're hiking, you kind of focus on the essentials, and as this adventure's coming to an end, real life, I hate to say real life, I think maybe this is real life, is coming in. Mrs. Grader wants a refrigerator, so after she picks me up today, we'll probably go get a refrigerator. And we were without power in our house for 4 days. It's on now, so we don't know what kind of little adventure we'll find when we get back. Hopefully everything's okay. Maybe they'll just take the old refrigerator away with all the contents in it, and we don't have to I even have to open it. Woo! I remember hiking this section this year, and I recall down a little bit south of here, there's a campground by a stream, and it was the first time I had used my tent. I think it was the first time I'd used my stove. I was trying to learn how to use everything before I started on my Appalachian Trail trip. Those were fun times. I just remember it was cold and dry. Dry in terms of a drought. All these little streams we're passing now were dried up then. Last year in Georgia and the southeast especially, there was a huge drought. A bunch of the thru-hikers, trail angels, were just leaving gallons of water out at crossings. But that hasn't been the case this year. It's been raining, which means there's plenty of a bountiful amount of water. All right, well, this section's been pretty nice. One of the things I did do this year for the first time ever was from Tesnatee Gap up to Thru-Hike Gap. If you're going north, it's a bad climb. And my buddy David and I had hiked this before. And when we would get to Tesnatee Gap, we'd do a little yell blazing up to Hogpen Gap. You could walk up the road half a mile, or you could do that mile on the trail, which is hard. Well, I thought it was hard when I did it this year. I finally did it. Look at all that poison ivy. You stay over there, poison oak ivy. So I'll go down it today, which will still be, well, could be treacherous. There are trees all over it. Well, I'll just assume they're not. It's going to be like this section right here, Mr. Optimist. All right, Appalachian Trail, day 176. Man, that's hard to believe. Looks like I'm gonna do it in less than 6 months. That's kind of my goal. Looks like I'll make it by with a few days to spare. Oh yeah, I started on the 25th. I'm not sure what the date is. 16th. And if I finish in 3 days, that'll be about 19th. Yeah, I'm gonna finish on the 19th. I made it with nearly a week to spare. But I'm pumped though. This has been quite an adventure. I'm gonna go to the ALDA, the Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association's annual gathering, and they have a thing where they recognize all the hikers. Chops is going with me, I believe. Anybody else that's Thru-Hike, to go with it. Look it up online. They got a little thing if you've just done it. I think they call you up and give you a certificate or something. And I'm pumped. That's assuming I finish, which I will. Heck, I've already finished. But I want to do it right. I want to go all the way through in a continuous fashion. There's a little stealth campground up here to the left. Yeah. That little campground. I remember where Kiwi would always point out campgrounds, stealth campgrounds. He always made comments about the shelters, usually about the writing on the walls. There's a Blaze. Hey, Blaze. Okay, here we go. Low gap shelter with water. All right. I was not too long ago met a father and his son in Kennesaw, Georgia, and they said that all of the blowdown stopped in about half a mile, and all of the trail from Tesnatee to Hogpen was clear. I was really kind of concerned about that. So hopefully, here in about a quarter of a mile, I can take off these rain pants and cool down a little bit and finish this hike today in comfort and in style. Oh man, it's always nice to see fathers and sons out hiking. Real nice young guy. Went to the school in Kennesaw. All right. We're getting there. Trail looks like it's going in a circle. Maybe it gets on the other side of the ridge. I bet that's what it is. And that would be why all the blowdown would stop. That makes sense. All right, cool. Here we go. I'm coming down into Thru-Hike Gap. I remember several years ago I did a road race. It started in Helen, Georgia, and ran up the Richard B. Russell Highway to Thru-Hike Gap. I called it the Thru-Hike Hill Climb. It's like 10 miles, and it's uphill the whole way. Oh my goodness, it's a killer. But it was fun. We got up to the top, and they had, of course, t-shirts and drinks and food. And anyway, Thru-Hike Gap. Can you read that? That's Thru-Hike Gap. Yeah, I said this is the Richard B. Russell Highway, named after our Honorable Senator Russell. So here we go. All right, so you cross the road at Thru-Hike Gap, and then you go up this steep little climb for a couple tenths, and then you go down a really steep descent for about 7/10 of a mile. And you end up in Tesnatee. It's like someone said, how can we make this little section difficult for the hiker? And they succeeded. The good news is though, there's no blowdown. It lasts a couple of miles. Coming into Thru-Hike, very little blowdown. I made super time, which is nice. It's only 3:40, and so I'm gonna get to Tesnatee Gap sooner than I originally planned. So I may be sitting down there twiddling my thumbs for a little while, but that's okay. Better early than late. There's a shelter around here, but hardly anyone ever goes to it. It's like way off the trail. I've forgotten the exact distance. Let me see a sign up here. I know most hikers, if they stay at the shelter, they want it like on the trail or maybe 1 or 2/10 of a mile off. But this one, if I recall, it's more than half a mile. And I thought, my goodness, that is a long way. but I never went there. There's a trail somebody's put in. Must have cutbacks. Sure enough. Somebody cheated. Don't ever cheat on cutbacks. If you do, I'll stick early riser on you. See right here, somebody cheating again. All it does is promote erosion. We don't want that. Cutbacks are our friend. Yeah, that little section between Hogpen and Unicoi is just a nice hike. It's not a lot of views, but it's rolling. Some climbs, but nothing is killer. And in that descent going down to Unicoi. Now, that's the normal case. All this blowdown, that made it a little different. But I'll quit talking about blowdown as long as I don't see anymore. I remember one of my first years teaching. I used to be a teacher as well as a pilot. Let's see. Yeah, here's that shelter. Look at this. Whitley Gap Shelter. 1.2 miles. Man, I would be upset if I got in at night and had to hike another mile. Yeah, I remember one of my first years, a buddy of mine, Richie was his name. Richie and I came up here in some rock outcroppings near here. And we cowboy camped. Just laying there under the stars on those rocks. And there was a meteor shower. I didn't know it was a meteor shower. And it got where I couldn't sleep. Every time I'd be about to go to sleep, one of these meteors go shooting across the sky. And I thought to myself, does this happen every night? And I just don't know it because I'm inside. And then I found out later it was a meteor shower. Pretty cool. All right, I'm almost up to the top of this. Let's see. Way down there's Hogpen Gap. I'm getting ready to go back down to Tesnatee. All right, here we go. All right, I'm here at Tesnatee Gap, looking at the Senator Richard B. Russell Scenic Highway in 1969. So, coming down to the highway, well, I believe that's Mrs. Greta up in front of me.
Hiking the trail.
Hiking the trail with style and grace. And this is the highway on the right. And there's a car. There's a little stream. I think I don't want to drink out of that. So Tesnatee Gap. You continue on the trail here. Goes right over here as I recall. Yeah. And that takes you over to Neal's Gap. Not too far. Then you go up Blood Mountain and do all that. So here we go.